So the franchise of the week this week is an opportunity called MaidPro. So MaidPro was formed in 1996 in Massachusetts. They started offering franchises 1 year later in 1997. And the parent company is Threshold Brands, which acquired them in 2020. So let's dive into just some of the base numbers of this franchise. So this franchise has no corporate-owned territories, but they have 238 franchise units. That is quite significant. They have a franchise fee of $45,000, a royalty of 6%. National marketing fee is 2%. Check this out. The investment range is between $100,000 to $130,000. If those of you are not familiar with how funding a franchise works, we have a ton of videos on funding, by the way, and how to fund a franchise. And actually, if you're looking for like a kind of like almost like a little crash course on just the different ways of buying a franchise, kind of funding, etc., on our website here, if you go to Franchise Empire, go to resources. Actually, you got to do it off the main page. Franchise Empire, free resources. Click on that. And then go. Actually, you don't even need to do all that. All you got to do is on the front page, go to download our free franchise starter kit. And that's going to give you our Zero to Profitable Franchise ebook, as well as the masterclass video. And that training video is going to break down what are all the different ways you can fund a franchise. There's a bunch. But in this instance, if you did it with, let's say, an SBA loan, you would have to put about 20% down. So somewhere between 20 and, let's call it $30,000, and then be able to get a loan for the rest. This specific franchise is interesting. They only have a franchise term of 5 years. Oftentimes it's 10 years. So it's definitely something that's unique there. MaidPro, can you guess what it's about? I mean, sounds pretty obvious, right? They offer residential and light commercial cleaning. You'll start your day off by meeting with your employees at your office to make sure everyone has the supplies they need for their jobs that day. Every employee will follow a 49-point checklist at each residence to ensure they are providing a consistent and thorough cleaning each time. As the owner, you will be networking, analyzing your market and numbers, managing your team, creating a good culture, and providing customer service to your customers. It'll take a few months to establish your core group of customers, and then you look to grow your business from there. That actually just triggered a thought that I meant to cover a little bit back in this case study that we talked about of our clients, which was Pete and Caitlin, and the fact that their skill sets were going to complement each other in business together. Actually, earlier today, I just recorded a podcast episode with a husband and wife. They have a 7-figure franchise business and a solid team, quality business, and similar situation. Their skill sets complement each other. The husband handles all the operations, and the wife is really like the visionary and oversees like the marketing and the numbers, different things like that. So, that's the cool thing about franchising and just business in general, right? Like working with someone or potentially having a partner or something like that you guys complement your skill sets. If you're looking to go into business with someone that you guys have like the same skill set, you're both good at sales, like that's a recipe for disaster, by the way, in case you're wondering. Or if you're both good at operations, because then no one's good at sales and you guys have a really well-run business, but no customers. Let's break down some of the numbers here that we have. So 2023 gross consumer sales, that were listed in the 2024 franchise disclosure document. And so what we can see here is that all franchise businesses, the average sales is $465,000. Let's start at the bottom. The quartile number 4 averages $146,000 in sales. So that's the bottom 25% of franchisees. You can see the next 25% up averages $300,000. The next 25, so this is top 50% here. In that quartile, $536,000 on average, and the number one quartile, they average $963,000. So the way we came up with that 4-to-1 sales to investment ratio is when you really take about that average franchise performance of 465,000. Well, you're talking about an investment of just, $105 to $130,000, right? And so that's a good sales to investment ratio overall. And especially, if you want it being, geez, one of the, the higher performers. If we look at the range of sales, highest to lowest, the lowest performer in the system does $51,000 in sales. Highest performer is 2.4 million. In the top quartile, the highest performer does 2.3 million, and the lowest performer in that quartile is 659,000. And then you can see how the numbers play out below, right? You can see their average number of jobs. They detail a good amount of information in this FDD, actually. So what are some of the benefits of a franchise for this franchisee? Well, there's work-life balance, right? All work is done within normal business hours, and this leaves you with free nights, weekends, and gives you more time to work on your business instead of in your business. So pretty cool. One of the things I didn't know, one of the things I hadn't really considered or realized when we bought our first franchise back in 2015 was that we were buying into a business that was open 363 days a year. We only closed on Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so, as you can imagine, that has an impact, right, on your lifestyle. And so, a business like this, where you're open, only open during the week during normal business hours, that's pretty cool. There's professional recruiting tools. So there's home office talent acquisition manager on staff to help handle employment, recruitment, retention, and best practices, as well as MaidPro's university training program. So home office, meaning the franchisor has a talent acquisition manager on staff to help you with hiring and employee recruiting, that's huge, because one of the biggest challenges every business will always have is recruiting and hiring talent. Recurring revenue. Over 80% of your revenue comes from customers that are on a recurring basis, right? So you just need to keep customers on the books. And geez, we've had house cleaners, every house we've lived in for, the last 8 years. So that's pretty cool. Having a recurring business, and also recurring businesses tend to have a higher resale value when you go to sell it, because there's a recurring customer base. There's a 24/7 call center with the franchisor. So the cool thing is that the National Sales Center will provide that service for you. Of course, that there's fees that you're paying for that are included in some of the fees you're paying, but that's pretty awesome. So you don't have to worry about the fact that your team's not working nights and weekends, because you know that if you get calls, the call center is going to handle it. And there's flexibility for the franchisee. So MaidPro allows you to use whatever vendors you want, have as many company cars as you want, and does not dictate how many employees are in each job. You are given the flexibility to make these decisions in your business. So a good amount of flexibility there. So for those of you who are interested in this specific franchise, or if you have some franchises in mind and you are curious, hey, is this available in my area? Is my territory that I want available, like my zip code, my city, etc., then go to franchiseempire.com/check territory, and you will be able to answer some questions to make sure that you meet some base qualifications, be able to schedule a meeting with our team. That is no cost, no obligation for that meeting, and we'll be able to see how we can help point you in the right direction in that area.